In the last section, we added in some middleware to make sure that whenever a user gets removed, we would we'd kill off all their existing blog posts as well. The real interesting thing inside of here is that we use the in modifier that's a part of Mongo. Okay, so I think that this middleware is looking pretty good. And we're now at a spot where it'd be pretty good to probably add in a test and make sure this thing is behaving as we would expect. So the test should be pretty straightforward. We will create a user, we'll create a blog post, we'll delete the user, and then make sure that the blog post is not there. So I'm going to start off by creating a new file inside of our test directory, and we'll call this one middleware test.js. Now inside of here, we'll grab mongoose, not moongoose. We'll grab assert. And yep, I misspelled require. My bad. Let's fix that up. Okay. And then I think that the only models that we're going to need inside of here are the user and the blog post as well. So we'll say const user equals require src user. And we're going to make sure that we go up two directories. Or excuse me, go up one directory. We have two dots. And then we'll also grab our blog post model as well. So src blog post. Now we'll place our describe of middleware. Nice and simple. Now we need to create inside of a before each our user, our blog post, associate them together, and then save them. So we basically already did all this just a second ago inside of our association test. So maybe it would save us a little bit of time by just doing a quick copy paste. I'm going to flip over to my association test file, and I'm going to take my entire before each, just the before each. I'm going to copy it all. I'm going to flip back over to my middleware test, and I'll save it inside of here. I'm going to immediately take out the code for the comment because we're not working with comments here. So I'll take out the comment. I will make sure that the comment is not trying to associate with Joe. And then also I don't really care that the comment get associated with the blog post either. So I'm going to take that out as well. So now I'm left with just Joe, the blog post, the association between the two, and then our promise.all. And I will also make sure to remove the comment.save as the third entry in the array. Okay, so I think this looks good right here. Let's not forget that we also need to initialize Joe and blog post right above the before each. Okay, so I think we're at a good spot now with our setup. We can now add in our it block and start making some assertions. So let's start by placing our it block. Let's give it a description. How about users clean up dangling blog posts on delete? Maybe instead of delete, we'll stick with the terminology that's used with Mongoose. Let's go with remove. And then we will not forget our done callback. So now we can take Joe, we'll remove him, and then there's a couple different ways that we could tackle this. We could load up all of our different blog posts and make sure that the first entry just does not exist. Maybe a better way, or a little bit more canonical way, would be to get a count of all the blog posts that are in our blog post collection and assert that that count is 0. Because at this point in time, we've only created one blog post. When we delete Joe, that only blog post should be deleted, and so our blog post count should be absolutely 0. To get a count of all the records of that are in a single collection in our Mongo database, we can make a reference to our model that represents the collection we want to get the count about, and then call the function count. Now remember, even though this seems like a fairly simple thing that we're doing right here, like literally just give me a count, this is still an operation that's going to touch our database because we are asking Mongo, hey, how many records do you have in the count collection? So just as though we were finding a record or filtering or doing anything like that, this is going to be an asynchronous operation. And so we're going to chain on another .then, which will be called with the result of this operation, or in other words, the number of blog posts that we have in our blog post collection. So we'll add in another .then that will be called with the count, or more specifically, the number of blog posts that we have. So then inside of our then inside of here, we can assert that count is equal to 0. And then we're called done to clean up or finish off the test. All right, moment of truth. Let's save this. Flip over to our terminal. And hot dog, 23 tests passing. Not bad at all. So it looks like this is definitely working out the way we expected. Let's do a quick change to the assertion here. So I'm going to say count equals 10 just to make sure that the thing's going to fail. Yep, looks good. We'll go back to a count of 0. All right, definitely exactly what we wanted. So this is looking pretty good. We're definitely cleaning up all of the blog posts associated with a given user when the user gets deleted. Let's go ahead and continue in the next section.